What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 on the PC. Knocking out my March monthly mission here on the PC, and I wanted to take advantage of my super bonus for the day on Temple of the Temple of the Necrotic NM4 solo. This is using the Frosty Traps current meta. And it's tricky to do, but can be very easy to do once you get it down. And it does take a little bit of practice. Taking a look through my gear here, I'm bringing a little Huntress DPS with me, with Dragolich, and then of course the Traptress. We're going not a full Blaze Balloon build, but I am going to bring that Blaze Balloon weapon, as the Blaze Balloons put out some serious pain using this particular strategy. Now we see here I've got the Towering Inferno on my Apprentice. I kind of screwed the pooch a bit and accidentally sold my Frosty weapon, which was pretty silly. Now as you see there, my Frosty is not at 100%. None of my gear on any of these characters actually is fully upgraded, but in the Frosty situation I actually don't even have the full 50% yet. You see the same thing here with my Squire for some walls. Don't have 25% on every single item for the Hardy, yet it's close enough. I'm still getting it done. I'm at 340,000 base health on the walls, which not too shabby. Now when placing the walls here, you want to make sure you're paying attention to these little lips. As you see right there, you want to make sure that nothing can get around. In the center here, you want to make sure that nothing can get through the left side. Right side you're going to be able to run right through, but you shouldn't have any problems there. And then with this blockade, we want to make sure it's close enough to that lip on the right where the mobs can't run through right along that side. Over here we're going to go directly behind the stair here. If you put it a little bit behind the stair, you don't really have to worry too much about any ogres walking over the walls they coming down the stairs. And that can be a problem if you put them too far out. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some Frosty goodness laid down here. We're going to start off on this little monument, whatever the hell thing it is here, this little platform here. I'm going to throw two Frosties down. They're going to be facing just over in the general direction of where everything's coming from. Of course, this side, although the majority of the fight, this side is actually left unattended, it definitely has quite a bit going through on it. So this side is going to be really juiced up with all of our defenses. Now once we get all these Frosties laid down, then we can switch on over to our Traptress. Not quite ready yet though, still need to get this other side buffed out. Now we're going to go 3 Frosties per lane here. Now one of the interesting things on this map is these two lanes, the north center and the northeast lanes. Both will have melee only. They won't have any ranged mobs coming in. And that makes things quite a bit easier there, as you don't have to trap it out too far. You just have to load it up right at your blockades. I'm putting these 3 Frosties for this far left lane up top there, and that seems to help a little bit more with the flyers. And then same thing here, these Frosties are going to be up top. Of course, being that high in the air, I don't have to worry about any ogre stomps. Plus, they do target the flyers pretty well in case you don't get to them. Now, this strategy in this fight is really all about the flyers, as if one flyer makes it to any of your crystals, it's pretty much good game. You're not going to be able to burn it down quick enough before it can burn your crystals. So, flyers must be addressed absolutely immediately. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay some traps. I'm using explosive traps here instead of elemental chaos. The reason being is I want to make sure to take advantage of those shatters from the Frosty Towers freeze. And the explosive traps will do that, where the elemental chaos does more damage, puts out more DPS. It won't shatter those frozen targets. So I'm going to stick with explosive on these lanes, since the resistances helped me out in that department. Now also these 2 top lanes here that are melee only, they also will never have any resistances, which is kind of nice, as you can use whatever you want right there. Now down on this side, of course, we've got a whole lot of lanes converging right here, and we've got a mixture. We've got some magic resist, some physical resist. So here on these lanes, I'm going to be taking advantage of explosive traps and blaze balloons. Now the explosive traps down this lane outside, because that particular lane has magic resist, so we definitely want to use physical on it. And then I'm going to put plenty of physical resist right here in the middle in the form of a lot of rows of traps, as the explosive traps will really get the job done for you right here. Now once we get all these explosive traps down, just a couple more rows of them, we're going to go ahead and put 2 blaze balloons, and it's just amazing how effective they can be in this little area here. We're going to go all the way up, almost touching the relic there. Actually, I don't think we can actually build any closer. This is just about as close as you can get without getting into the space of the relic itself. And that's going to be it. That's going to be the build. Now I'm going to go ahead and blaze through the run at 4 times speed, just to make sure that this doesn't turn into a 45-minute video just covering one map. But here it is, Temple of the Necrotic, Nightmare 4 solo. Getting the juicer out, ready to dish out the pain. And like I mentioned, it's serious flyer duty. Now I am going to take advantage of all of those carnival buffs. One of the important things here is definitely you want to get that speed boost buff. And if you can spare it, you want to use the medium skill sphere for additional run speed as well, as there is a lot of running back and forth when you're trying to do this solo, and you want to make sure you get there as quickly as you can. Now that leads to almost confusion sometimes because you're moving so fast. You have to be careful not to accidentally fall off any ledges or do any sort of silliness. See, the holy artifact is just about down, and the mobs will come into the blaze balloons over on that side and just get wrecked up. Now through this first wave, it's definitely important, particularly if you screw the pooch and die like I just did, to keep your walls repaired, so you are going to have to collect up a little bit of repair mana very, very quickly. Now you want to check the walls all the way around on both sides and the outside lanes, just to make sure that nothing is going to make it through. If any of your walls go down, you know, you're going to have to defend that lane if at all possible. If you can't defend that lane, then it's good game, the run's over, and start again. But there is a quick look at wave 1. I'm going to spend the majority of the mana getting these blockades upgraded just a bit. I'm going to throw a few trap upgrades around, just because, of course, that first upgrade is the most effective, so I want to get a lot of those out there. And then off to flyer duty. Now, like I said, you cannot ignore the flyers. You have to watch your minimap almost constantly, and as any of these flyers come in, or the second they really get onto the map itself, you need to address them. If you don't take care of that right away, there's a real good chance it could be good game. Now, real important with these ogres, of course the ogres are going to come from varying lanes. When you're fighting on that south side of the map, where the artifact was, you're going to have to make sure that you're not standing anywhere remotely near your blockades or the crystal. If you stand right up here on this edge, then the ogres won't do their stomp. If you run down too close to them, they're going to, or if you get over by your blockades, they're going to. So even if your blockades are taking some damage, you're better off just trying to burn the ogre. That way you don't have to worry about the ogre stomp, because if the ogre stomps, your crystal's done. We built entirely too close to it to be able to afford any sort of ogre stomps. Getting a few more upgrades around. I like to get these blockades upgraded just a little bit, and get these traps healthy. Now the most important traps on the south side are definitely those 2 blaze balloons, and by the end of the map you want to have those fully upgraded. That way they're really dishing out the pain up front. Giving the assist as often as possible. Of course, Dragolich is doing his part and wrecking up shop. You pop Dragolich when you've got a huge pack of mobs on top of those 5 traps right here pounding on your blockade, and they disappear pretty quickly, that's for certain. So Dragolich is definitely a very handy pet to have this time around. Poisonous Tips would actually help more with the flyers. However, Dragolich just vaporizes those packs when they're all parked on top of your traps. Always keep an eye on that outside lane there, as it can very easily get chewed up. And it's really close to another objective too. If that objective gets destroyed, it's good game as well. Now you see instantly getting on these flyers. We got more flyers coming in the right side. Instantly knock those down and then get back to the packs. Always try to burn the bosses down as quickly as you can, obviously. However, if you've got flyers on the map, you really need to ignore the bosses until those flyers are down, as the flyers are going to make your life completely miserable. Getting a few more of those traps upgraded, getting the blaze balloons squared away, all those explosives. My Traptress is fairly strong, however, her defense health is very low. I put absolutely everything into crit chance and defense crit, so I'm at the maximum, and I'm dealing out some nice crit damage. However, that leads to some unhealthy traps that don't have the ideal amount of charges. So I try to keep the upgrades on the explosive traps just to traps that have dropped below 100 charges. As soon as they get below 100 charges, of course, I'll repair them if I need to, or get them upgraded. Wave 4 just about burned through here, just another 100 mobs, and at the end of every wave, the mobs are pretty organized. They come out in definite waves where you can focus down one particular lane or one group of lanes in this particular situation, and just about every wave is going to end right over here on top of your blaze balloons with them getting the job done. A few more upgrades and a couple of repairs there. Getting those blockades up a little bit further, and just double checking these traps to make sure that none of the charges are too low. See, we're getting a little bit low there, so I just threw some repairs around. And to start wave 5 here, we've got more flyers, so right back to flyer duty to get things done. This is going very, very quickly at 4 times speed. Shame you can't actually run the map this fast. It would be very easy to farm. This is, especially doing it solo, this is easily a 45-minute map. So you want to make sure you have plenty of time before you even bother starting it. As although it is a rewarding map, there's a lot of mobs, so a lot of chances of loot to drop, plus the the large amounts of gold you make in the process of that. But it's not the quickest map to get done, that's for sure. Now, of course, this being one of the haunted maps with the spooky weapons. So at the end of this, in the chest, we're going to have a chance of getting one of those fun spooky weapons. Some are better than the other. I kind of like the Squire one for melee, and I definitely like the pumpkin one, the pumpkin bow for the Huntress. At the end of this run, I think I ended up getting a monk weapon. I don't really even remember for sure, but just trying to get all those spooky weapons collected. The monk weapon actually would be pretty decent if you had like a monk tank build. Flyers first. Always get them down. Ignore anything else on the map the second those flyers come up. And that will make your life much, much better. Just burning them through, getting it done. You see there's a lot of running back and forth in between the northern section and the southern section. Although it's not a huge distance to carry, having that additional run speed definitely helps things out. Now you see here I actually forgot to buff. I let my buffs elapse, and I'll get those in place for the next wave. We'll get them back up. If your buffs do expire, it's no big deal. A lot of people are popping them every wave. I try to get the waves down quick enough where I only have to use them every 2 waves. And then, of course, it is just right back to it. Trying to get on this Plaguing Hawk right away just to get the bosses off the map as quickly as possible. If I don't have any flyers out there, there's no reason not to just go ahead and burn the bosses as quickly as you can. Once again, upgrading some traps, focusing mainly on upgrading the traps now, as of course the more damage we have, the quicker these packs are going to burn down. And then it is back to flyer duty once again before burning up all these packs. Now, Dragolich is definitely pretty handy on this map. If you do have a challenge at all with getting those flyers burned down before they can get in, I would suggest bringing a Poisonous Tips weapon instead, as of course the range there is your weapon range. So you pop Poisonous Tips on yourself, and you can pretty much vaporize those flyers really, really quickly. Now, as you saw, I ignored that blockade and just got the ogre burned down. Now, if that blockade would have went, it would have been bad things for me, but I wanted to make sure I was doing everything I can to avoid that ogre stomp, which of course would destroy my crystal and end the map as well. Just about down to nothing, just burning through the last few packs, so let's slow it right on back down to real time. And just get these last 15 all chewed up here. All in all, the map does take a little practice. It's a little frustrating with it taking so long, and like me, I died multiple times in Wave 7 before I was actually able to finish this map. So it definitely takes a little bit of practice to just get the hang of which directions the mobs are going, where you have to run back and forth from in between waves. And then hopefully you get the fat legendary chest and get yourself one of those not necessarily awful, or not necessarily awesome, but definitely cool spooky weapons. I actually found one of the spooky axes for the Squire that has frost damage on it too, and I've been... Yeah, I found that monk weapon there. It has frost damage on it too. I've been using that on my gold farmer as jackpot and then frost damage on top of it. It's chewing through those hard mode mobs pretty quickly to drop all the gold. But that is a quick look at Temple of the Necrotic, Nightmare 4 Solo. Thanks again for watching. Click that like button, please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.